right, we are live. I want to start doing some periodic live garden updates throughout the season. I have not been very good about this in the past, but I think it's an important part of the process, and I think we'll all learn together. So I thought today is as good as any. We have had a lot of rain. We've had probably, it feels like 2 weeks of rain. It's kind of muddy out here, and some of my plants are yellowing. That can happen sometimes when you get a lot of rain because all your nutrients are getting kind of washed out of the soil. So while we're out here, I do have some garden tone here. We're gonna do a little fertilizing in here around the garlic. My garlic is looking like hell this year, and I don't really know why. I don't know if it's just the type of year we're having with the ups and the downs of our weather. We've gotten hot, we get cool. There's no way to predict it, it doesn't seem like. So anyway, let me see if I can turn this around. And this is the garden bed that I'm gonna work on here right now. And of course this is not staying. Sorry about this, guys. I need to get a bigger tripod for this, I guess. This bed here is one of the ones that, these are all leeks up here that when they went to flower last year, I just threw a bunch in here. So, oh, actually, you know what? No, that might be the bed behind me. These might be garlic too. I don't remember. These are definitely garlic. Do you see how yellow these are? And they're sort of looking like hell. They're putting up their flower stalk. Oh, and here's a bunch of aphids. Yucky. Sorry, dudes. Anyway, I have a lot of these are now sending up their flowers, so I've got to cut these off. That's something I'll probably do today. I don't see one there. I didn't know if they were ready because some of them are throwing them and some of them aren't. But anyway, I am going to put a little bit of my garden tone in here for them, for the ones that still have a little work to do. This is just going to help them get some of the nitrogen back that with all the rain that we just had, they might need. Garden tone is by Espoma, and it is all natural. It's one of my favorites. And it's one of my favorites for that reason. I like that it's all natural. I am an organic farmer, if you're tuning in for the first time. I try to do everything organically. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's what I try to do. So, yeah, I do have more garlic over here in this bed here. So I am going to throw some of this in here. Yeah, those look okay. All right, yeah, here we go. We got some scapes coming up here, and we can handle those today. So I at least wanted to get that much done. And let me show you what I got going here. So this is the bed closest to my deck, and look at the sun finally coming out. It's like we haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks. No, ma'am, that's not for you. I am puppy sitting. This is Jade. She's a troublemaker, and her sister Quinn is around here too. She's the little gremlin. She makes these little gremlin-like noises. So this is one of the beds here. That's just sitting on top of my sub pod. But I got these plants. I got some starts. I ordered these from Etsy. This is a longevity spinach, and this here is an Okinawan spinach. These are supposed to be like a perennial type spinach that you can actually root them by cuttings, and they spread really easily, but they are definitely heat tolerant, so you can use it for greens during the summer months. It is a little bit thicker than, say, a spinach, but it's supposed to be really nutritious and really good for you. And over here is, this is the last of the stuff really from the spring, and you can see it's dying off. This dino kale still going. I always tell you guys, dino kale is one of the few that is quite a bit heat tolerant. It can withstand quite a bit. I think it goes to seed in its second year. That might be why. But I mean, that's still throwing off kale there. A couple of new tomatoes are in here getting ready to take the place of all this stuff. See, all of this flowering. This is what happens when you're planting stuff and it's too warm for it. It wants to go to seed. That is just how the plants are preserving themselves. So I haven't ripped it out because I'm taking advantage of this. This is covering this whole area, and I planted some lettuce under here. So I'm letting the canopy of that sort of block some of that sun so that my lettuce has a chance and doesn't quickly bolt. A couple volunteer tomatoes in here. I do have some onions I recently put around the beds, and they were from onion starts that I had gotten. So if you see these around the beds, I do that a lot because I think it's a good bug deterrent. So I put either leeks or onions around the beds. I have no idea what this is. It might have been, it's not arugula because the arugula's over there. This might have been some sort of brassica though. And then behind me, I've got peas, and you can see this thing is just, I think it's done. It is absolutely done. There's peas on here though, and they're always delicious. They're a little bit tough right now, but still tasty though. Why are peas so good? So yeah, as soon as I start taking those out, look at all these. Part of that is because it knows it's dying. When they know they're dying, they throw out a lot of fruit. Fruit, vegetable, biologically speaking, it's fruit. And that's how they're trying to preserve their life. All right. I did get some sweet potatoes planted. I always like to plant my sweet potatoes in these little styrene tubs, and they do pretty good. You have to fertilize, make sure they stay nice and moist, but for the most part, they do really well. And these were started from slips that I got from a friend of mine locally. This is on here to label it, in case you're wondering why I have a baggie in here. And they look like they've taken, so they're doing pretty good. There was one or two, yeah, that one is on the struggle bus. There were a couple in there, so those ones may not have made it, but the rest look like they did, and trust me, for just me, that's plenty. Behind that bed, this one, I have put in some of my new tomatoes. And then I've got a couple of varieties of tomatoes or anything like that right now, just because right now they all look the same. So we'll do that another day. I did plant some squash here. This is either a, this is either a round zucchini squash, or I planted a yellow squash of some sort. I think it was just a crookneck squash. I don't know if it was that or if I planted those in the other bed there. And this bed here looks probably similar to the other ones, very similar. A couple of tomatoes. These little cages here, these are great for when you're trying to protect your seedlings. For me, I have my dog, I have chickens, and they sometimes get in the beds. So I buy those little, I think it's a trash can. It's from the dollar store. In fact, now I think you have a hard time finding them. I got them last year and I bought as many as I could find. So I use them in a few places. Here I did it because these are establishing still. So I didn't want anything sort of getting in and bugging them. We're not to the time of our squash vine borer moths yet, though it's going to be in the next coming weeks, or at least it usually is. So I'll be on the lookout for any of those. But for right now, that doesn't seem to be an issue. So, and they're covered. Once they outgrow those, I'll take those off though. This is a climbing zucchini. I got these seeds from Renee Seeds, and I'm very excited to try these. I tried growing some last year. They didn't take. Unfortunately, out of what I planted, I didn't have enough seeds. So I've got 1, 2, and there was one over there, but I think it's struggling. So I don't know if that'll make it. But I do have these 2 here that hopefully they'll take, and I can just pop a few more seeds of another squash in there. This is a curry plant, which not the same as the curry you find in Indian food, though it smells like it. I popped that in there because it's so smelly. I thought maybe it might help mask the smell of this and maybe deter the squash vine borers. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Here you can see I got one that for whatever reason is having a hard time. Sometimes that will happen, guys. It's not your fault if that happens necessarily. Like sometimes something gets the roots or the roots rot with all the rain that we've had. It is very possible that that's what happened, is, you know, it just got drowned. You know, and sometimes you never know. Sometimes they can make a comeback, but you could see the one next to it is so much bigger. They were planted at the same time. So every once in a while that will happen. Sometimes it's in the DNA of the plant and there's nothing you can do. So don't beat yourself up if that happens. Oh yeah, I guess this stuff's from the spring too. This is celery. You could see it has gone crazy. This is all going to seed. It smells delicious. Yay, get out of there. Ow, 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 ow. Thank you. Sorry, the new dogs. They're not my dogs, so they're not used to being around. Um, but yeah. Oh, look, ladybugs. We like ladybugs. Ladybugs are our friend in the garden. They will eat the aphids. I actually let a bunch go not too long ago. Pikes in, well, any of the pikes in the area, apparently. We're giving them away with I think you had to do a $10 purchase. Not a problem for a gardenaholic like myself. So I thought, all right, let's go get some ladybugs. And then I spent $150. Don't tell anybody. Have, I think, this is a tomatillo, I think, yeah. I planted that, oops, can you even see it? No, you can't see it. Tomatillo. I got to get a stake on that, but everything here is sort of just taken over. I think I did that on purpose. I was trying to slow it down. Okay, here you go. Here's some leeks that are going to seed. You can see the seeds there. I do let some of them go. I let the bees have them in the spring, and then I just kind of throw them around the garden. In fact, since I'm back here, I threw them in this pot here. Hey, what are you guys doing? They're bothering the chickens. The chickens are back there. I do have a couple left anyway. I keep losing connection, sorry. No clue what that is growing out of there. I don't even know if that belongs there. I think these are more potatoes, more onions. That's what, most of this is potatoes and onions back here. I do have this old cat litter box that I planted some sunchokes in. If you've ever grown sunchokes, they're beautiful, but they spread like crazy. So you want to contain them a little bit. I've never eaten them. I'm worried of the effects, because if you've never them, they also call them fartichokes. This year, I need to just try them. I need to just try them and see. Grow them as a just-in-case vegetable, because you just never know when you need food, right? So I have them. I just never seem to harvest them. These here are my walking onions, and right now, I don't know what happened. They're kind of looking like hell. They were all full the other day, and all this rain has just pummeled them. And then we're starting to get hot, so these were carrots, but you can see these are now going to seed. So I'll let them, and I don't know, maybe I won't let them, and I'll tell you why. I put a bunch of seeds from last year that I gathered, and they didn't really produce very big carrots. Now, part of it could be that I didn't pay too much attention to it either. But see, they're just not very big. So I'm doing something wrong with my carrots. I probably should have amended the bed, but because the seeds that had fallen were in there, I just let it be. But yeah, all of these, because they're going to seed, see what happens when they start going to seed, they get a little gnarly. They start turning into more of like a heavy root or a woody root than an actual carrot to eat. So unfortunately, these are just, it's time to pull them out and just be done with them. And I think next year I'll try a different type and see how they do. I would love to pull like one big one. That would be great. Never happens though. I'm gonna put these down over here. So now we're just kind of making our way around the other side. I know it's probably a little confusing. We went down that first side before, and so now we're just going next to the row next to it. This is where I started a bunch of stuff for the spring. So you could see this is chard, and it has just taken off. It's going crazy. It is very, very happy. These are, these might be a shallot. I can't remember. These are my cucumbers. I got those started. I think they're a Be It Alpha. And then these are supposed to be a 45-day cabbage. And you see, I've got the covering on them. If they get to this, I'll take this off. It's getting very big very fast. And I don't know if that's just because of our heat. It very well could be. Here in South Carolina, zone 7B, 8A, we struggle sometimes in the spring because not everything can handle the heat. And it's quite variable for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just part of what we deal with here. And then in the summer, we deal with droughts and heavy high temps that are just murderous to me and the plants. Oh, well, this is the bed we started on. This is the garlic bed. I can give you a little better look. They just, I don't know what is going on with them. They're just not having a happy time. And some of them are looking like they're yellowing and going to flower so I can cut the scapes. Some of them don't look that way. They just look small and putrid. I don't know what's going on with them. This was arugula. I love arugula, so I'm just kind of letting it be because number one, I love the flowers. And number two, I don't mind if the seed's everywhere. It'll make a great ground mulch in the garden. And I personally love it. It's probably a little bit bitter right now, but arugula has kind of a peppery flavor, and I don't know what it is about it. I just love it. These here are, I think these are shallots. These look like these are shallots here, and then that is garlic. Those are some volunteer tomatoes. I have no idea what they are. Those might get pulled up. And then we're back here at this garden again. But I do have some other things around the edges of the beds I can talk about. People love to comment and say, oh my God, your yard is a mess. No, my yard is not a mess. This is asparagus. It is past asparagus time. And this is some sort of a blue, what was it? It was a blue flower, native flower that I planted, and it just went crazy. So I don't know if I'm going to get to this today, but I need to weed all of this. I just weeded it a month ago, and this is the status that it's at. This was all cleared out because I have strawberries in here. In fact, I saw one over here. The strawberries were getting the light of day, and now they're not. So look at this. They're hiding in here. Oh, the bugs got that one. We'll pull that off and give it to the chickens. Ooh, or maybe that dog will want it. I think I'm going to move these. I'm tired of everything getting them. So I might pull them out of here and let the, I have a grow tower, and I think they might do real well in a grow tower. I get a couple. She found a rabbit, a couple for the baby bunnies that I had to rescue. If you follow me on any of my channels, it is posted. I think that one might have been just a short, but it's on any of the channels. I try to be on all of them for accessibility reasons so that anybody can access my information and my gardening stuff. This is not what I normally do. I don't just walk around and talk about my gardens primarily. I try to teach just so that people know how to grow things. And if you're new to me, my name is Erin. I am the Little Urban Farm girl. And this is my Little Urban Farm. It became the Little Urban Farm once I got the chickens about 4 or 5 years ago. And it's just grown. It grew primarily because of COVID. I started filming what I was growing because I saw that people were nervous about, what was going on in the world and not having food. And I'm a solution seeker, and I knew how to can and garden, and I, for whatever reason, was not nervous, probably because I knew that stuff. So I ended up taking it to YouTube. So it was where I started, and then slowly made it to the other channels. And I'm trying to make my way back to YouTube a little bit so I can do more of the longer format stuff, because sometimes it's exhausting doing everything in 30 and 60 seconds. This way I can kind of flow and don't have to worry about it. I can talk to y'all. I do have these are black raspberries here. For some reason, these are not doing as well as they have in previous years. This used to be full. And I'm not sure why this year they're struggling, but they are. And let's see if they're ready. Let's try one. And these are black raspberries, also known as black caps. A lot of people don't realize that, and they don't realize that raspberries come in these dark little colors like this, which is different from like berries. And I have some of those wild on my property as well. Guys, leave the chickens alone, please. Oh my goodness. These over here. Oh, hello, Jade. These here are black berries. These are just wild. They grow back in my fenced area, or my wooded area here and in here. And I'm cleaning out some of the area there to put like a little shade garden. But the way you could tell the difference, and I've done videos on this before, is if it's a raspberry, it's hollow. If it's a blackberry or some other type of berry, usually it's not, but raspberries usually have a hollow center. So, oh my God, why are those so good? I'm gonna be really upset there aren't more of these. Sorry. Pausing for a second here because these are the first ones I've had, and holy cow. I didn't think they were ready yet. And if I don't eat them before the birds do, I won't get any. Okay, continuing on. So yeah, I am going to be staking these up very soon because they're kind of a mess. Say hi, Quinn. Hi. You can see they're kind of going crazy up here on this one. But yeah, they're. I think I've got a lot of newer ones that are coming up. So next year they'll probably do better. They have spread over here a bit too, so I do need to contain those a bit. But we can go to the other side of my yard here because I do have regular raspberries as well. We'll check on those. In through here, random stuff. I've got a rhubarb, tomatoes. This is a cosmic kale, and that is some sort of perennial cabbage. I got those on, I don't know, either Etsy or eBay. I'm new to them, so we'll see how they do. This area over here still needs some work. It's got a little crazy, but I do have 2 figs in here, and I have some bigger pots that I them in. So they've got some fruit coming in already, which always may pot them up into something bigger. I'm struggling. I have amended it with the stuff I'm supposed to amend it with, but it is getting ready to produce berries, so maybe it's just on the struggle bus for that. I've got about 4 of these out front as well. And what I found out is the way to treat your blueberries, you know, you always hear, oh, they need acidic soil, which is true. But ammonium sulfate. The sulfate is sulfur-based, which helps keep an acidic environment for them. And the type of oh, sorry, I just saw the berries. I just got real excited. Hold on, what was I saying? I got very excited. The type of nitrogen that is in the aluminum sulfate is actually supposed to be one of the best types for them to uptake. And maybe it's because it's combined with the sulfate and with a lot of plants. If they have the proper nutrient makeup, they can uptake the things they need. So, for instance, you know, you've all probably heard of blossom end rot. Everyone thinks that's a calcium issue. That's half right. It is a calcium issue because it's not getting the calcium that it needs, but it doesn't mean there's not calcium in the soil. Usually it's a watering issue and it's a transport issue. The plant doesn't have the right resources to transport it up through the plant. So what it does is it starts sucking the water from the ends of the tomatoes and they shrivel up. But everybody thinks if they pop a Tums in there, that'll fix it. That's actually not the root cause of it at all. And I used to think the same thing, not knocking anybody. I used to think the same thing. I had some learning to do. Oh, I'm seeing I have comments. I didn't even know. Oh, feed is frozen. Hopefully you can see me again. I don't know why my feed keeps freezing. Hopefully it won't do that again. I'm also low in juice, so that might be part of it. And I'm probably not going to be out here too much longer anyway, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the gardens. But look at this. Now that is some deliciousness that I'm not sure I can wait to try these. These are also a raspberry. I think the ones that I had were called Purple Royalty and something Jewel. Black Jewel? No. Something Jewel. Oh my God, why are they so good? I do have some yellow ones in here as well. My yellow ones don't always grow as uniformly. I don't know why. These are probably an Ann or they're so sweet. Y'all, if you don't grow your own food, once you do, you realize why people do it. The food in the grocery store has no flavor. We have gotten to the point where we're used to that, so we don't know there's a difference necessarily. Though sometimes in season, you can tell. All of a sudden, the strawberries taste really good. If you eat strawberries in the off season from the grocery store, they literally taste like nothing. The eggs taste like nothing. They have killed our food, and I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole at all. However, try growing some of your own stuff, and you'll see for yourself the difference that it makes. They also, in a lot of these industrial farms, what's happening is they're ruining the soil. So we're not getting the same vitamins and minerals anymore that we used to be getting. So we need to be eating a lot more of some of this stuff. And we weren't eating enough of it to begin with because we've, industrialized everything. So anyway, I'll get off my political soapbox. So yeah, those are some raspberries there, and I'll be trellising those up. Stuff back here, mint, lemon balm, elderberries. I got 2 elderberries back there that should produce pretty well this year, actually. And then up on my deck, I don't think I'm going to go all the way up there because I don't think I have enough juice, but you can probably see from here. Herbs. I like growing my herbs up there because my kitchen is right in there, so I can come out and get them. There's mint a couple times. There's a trailing rosemary, sage, and then here are my citrus trees. I bring those out in the summer. So I just last year got my first lemon, and I was very excited. Citrus is challenging. I will say that. They need to be fertilized a lot, and they're very temperamental. I take them in the winter, and that's when they go dormant for a while and they start to lose their leaves, and then they get really frustrated with me, and I get frustrated with them, and I think I lost one this year. I'd like to build a greenhouse. That's my plan, and then hopefully those can have a place. But anyway, I just wanted to say happy Sunday, and I hope that your gardens are treating you well. And if you've never been here before, I'm glad you came to join me today. And if you ever have any questions, please let me know. I love to help people. My website is in the making right now. I'm getting it situated. I've been getting it situated for a while, but it's coming. And I'm also on all of the socials that you can find a lot of my little teaching clips. So anyway, feel free to say hi, give me a like, a share, and a follow, and let's grow together. Bye.